Republicans are primed to win big on Tuesday, and that's good, but we can't just let this be another decent red wave year. This is a moment in history. We have the chance to totally validate and vindicate our ideas, and we have to capitalize. Stay tuned. What's up, guys? thevincedao here. Be sure to like and subscribe. All right, sorry for the inactivity over the last few days. I had some midterms to take, no pun intended. I'm also a little bit sick, but we are back and just in time because Tuesday's elections are a few days away. So in today's video, I want to give my final thoughts, predictions, and just last things to say before Tuesday. So number one, the question of will Republicans win? I think the obvious answer is yes. It's going to be a pretty decent red wave. They will win the House, they will win the Senate, and I think they will see a net gain in the governorships. People have been pointing to the polls. I know those can be unreliable. So let's use our common sense here. The economy sucks, and between inflation and the shortages, it sucks really bad in a way that everyone notices, which is not always true of an economic high or low, right? It's not always right in your face how bad the stock market is or even the jobs numbers, right? But oh yeah, this is in your face. Crime is through the roof. Wokeness is growing, highly unpopular, especially in the suburbs. This administration has dealt numerous foreign policy embarrassments and disasters, right? Like we all know what is going to happen to the incumbent party when this is the state of the country. It's not difficult. It's backed by hundreds of years of historical precedent. And sure, abortion and, I don't know, even Jan 6 may be some motivating factors for Democrats. It's just not going to be enough. It's not. Suburban women are not single-issue voters on abortion. Most independents aren't. So, you know. Now, some people may raise red flags of, a certain issue in certain places that may screw us over. I'm, of course, talking about fracking. Yes, YouTube, we are talking about fracking, of course. All I'm going to say on that topic is point out the fact that the polls and the media are even saying that Democrats are going to lose, right? Which they were not saying in 2020. So you can make up your mind there, but it seems to me like if they were going to, make fracking an issue. Anyways, I think we all agree that Republicans will see some gains, but what's the true measure of a metric of success on Tuesday? Some people will say Blake Masters. I say that's not enough. I think if Blake loses, that's an outright failure. Some may say Lee Zeldin in New York. And honestly, I think if that happens, it's great. It'll be a big moral victory. But that's, in my opinion, what it really is would it really be that consequential in the end, besides just being a big shot, a big blow in the face? It'll be good, but is it going to stop Eric Adams from destroying New York City? Is it going to make New York ever realistically even a center of the road state? I don't know. To me, the real measuring stick is Doug Mastriano in Pennsylvania. Okay? Here's a guy running for governor who has the power and the potential to truly change his state forever. And Doug Mastriano is a guy in a winnable race that the national GOP literally refuses to fund for no other reason than that he's a real human being. He's an actual patriot with a great family who isn't controlled by big money or some type of groomed career DC politician. He's a guy who would overturn things on day one and not be some pushover to the Democrats or special interests in his state. And for that reason, the national GOP is intentionally throwing his race. It's a disgrace. They refuse to give Doug Mastriano any money. They pretend like he doesn't exist. So the question is, can an authentic, grassroots, America First patriot overcome a totally corrupt political machine in Josh Shapiro with nothing more than popular support and grassroots people? That's what remains to be seen. And to me, that really determines the true metric of success on Tuesday. All these other candidates, they're going to do fine. But is the one being totally blacklisted by the GOP and the establishment going to win? Like truly our guy? We'll see. I don't know. But keep an eye on Doug. Make some last-minute donations to him if you can, because this is a very good candidate in a very important state that the GOP has decided to screw over. Imagine how Republican Pennsylvania would become for generations if our guy, a Trumpian populist warrior, gets in there and becomes the DeSantis of the North, maybe even better than the DeSantis of the North. They don't want to see it happen. Some people should start asking why. It's a little bit suspicious. It's a little bit corrupt to me. Again, I like Lee Zeldin. I support Lee Zeldin. But why is he getting all the airtime on Fox and not Doug? Why not the guy in the swing state that actually matters in the Electoral College and a guy that might actually have power to do anything? I don't know. But we are with Doug. To me, that's Tuesday's most important race for those reasons. Now, before we go, I want to address one last thing that's really important, and that's why Tuesday's elections actually matter. I've heard some fringe voices on the right calling for a boycott of the elections. Others are just kind of disaffected with it. So here's the thing. I'm not a blind shill for the GOP by any stretch. But first of all, how exactly does it help the America First movement for Joe Biden to get 2 more years of total power? All of these boycott the election people seem not to really have an answer here. I understand we are not happy with how some of the primaries turned out. A lot of the candidates are just lukewarm. I get it. But how does it help us for Nancy Pelosi to continue to persecute people with the January 6th Commission, all the other stuff? Like, I don't even know. Do you clowns realize that? Do you realize the only way the January 6th Commission stops is if Republicans retake the House? I thought you guys cared so much about that. The persecution of American patriots by the regime, right? But apparently we vote for that with our apathy. Secondly is the idea that it'll somehow help the Trump movement to boycott. It'll really send a message to the GOP not to take us for granted if we don't vote. Oh, really? How did that work in the Georgia runoffs? Did the party become more or less pro-Trump after that? And if it worked in Georgia, how come we don't have an America First GOP right now? Are they going to blame themselves or blame Trump if they lose? Think with your brain. They are already building up the excuse now. You hear this in some of the media, that if Republicans lose, it's because of Trump and because of the culture war. Literally, with that said, Republicans losing will move the GOP further to the left. And you know it because they're already saying that. Again, how does that help make the GOP more conservative? All the clowns suggesting this, it doesn't make any sense. And say that Trump wins in 2024. Okay, say he is president. How will having Congress against him help the America First agenda? And you might say, oh, we'll retake that too in 2024, but that's not how it usually works. The House usually doesn't flip all at once. A party takes the House in a wave year, holds it for a few years, it slowly chips away, and then it flips. The Senate isn't even all up for election every cycle. So point being, it's not guaranteed, even if Trump wins in 24, that we will reflip the Congress, okay? You're already putting yourself in a hole for 2024. It does not help anything. So don't listen to the forces telling you to boycott. You know who they are, okay? And they are literally immature children. No logic there at all. Now, on the other hand, I get it that Republicans winning won't magically save America. I never said that. But consider this moment in history. Roe v. Wade just got overturned. And Republicans proceed to win big in the election. That's a big deal. That is not insignificant. That is a moment of total vindication. And frankly, I think this election's place in America's culture war and ultimately in American history, watch and see in a few years, is far bigger than any one candidate. Big shifts in the Overton window on crime, on abortion, on wokeism, on immigration. The defeat of our enemies will validate our ideas in the eyes of many. That's the truth. That's how politics works, right? My friend Gavin Wax made a great point, which is that when you look at this moment in history, with the economy where it is, wokeism pushing too far in the eyes of many, the Democrats are incredibly unpopular. This is literally our chance to build the right-wing equivalent of a New Deal coalition. I don't know if the GOP is smart enough to build that or maintain that, but that's why you got to be involved, right? That's why we got to stay active in this stuff, not boycott like a bunch of children. So go vote, okay? And donate to Doug if you have a chance. And, let's truly let this election be a big moment in history. All right, folks, with that said, thank you for watching. By the time you see this, I will probably be on the road headed for Baton Rouge, Louisiana for the LSU-Bama game on Saturday. I don't know, maybe I'll upload this on Saturday, not sure, but maybe, hence, the sweatshirt, real Dixieland road trip should be fun. I should have pre-recorded content ready for the whole weekend, so enjoy that. Say hi if you see me at the game. Yeah, like the 3 of you who go to LSU, just find me in a crowd of 100,000 people. That sounds real easy, real smart, Vince. But yeah, like and subscribe. Follow the links in the description. Alpha moves only. God bless. Peace.